Welcome back. With the time that we have left, let's look at some of this week's member statements. The statement we look at comes from the COPE's benches and called for the ANC to withdraw the Constitutional Courts Bill. It was met with interjections and a response from the Deputy Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Mr. Andre Snell.
COPE calls on ANC Women MP to honor the consensus that was reached at the Women's Parliament that the Traditional Courts Bill should be withdrawn and to insist the Minister Jeff Radebe withdraw the draconian bill immediately. The bill before the NCOP is exactly the same as the 2008 bill. This despite that the South African Law Commission, in consultation with the interest group, including the Alliance for Rural Democracy, presented a revoked draft to the Minister in 2003. This revoked draft provided for a so-called opt-out right for rural women who preferred to access magistrate courts instead of customary courts. Unfortunately, Minister Radebe stands firm, refusing
what point are you raising on, remember?
Yeah.
Just one.
Speaker, on a point of order, my knowledge of the rules might be a little bit on the rusted side, and maybe you can assist us. But is the honourable member not anticipating a matter which either is or might be on the agenda of Parliament or this House?
On a point of order.
And what point of order are you raising on?
Because the Honourable Deputy Minister did not rise on a point of order, he rose on a point of question.
Honourable.
And what point are you raising on? Continue, Honourable Member.
Can she continue?
You can, I don't know about she, you.
Okay. Honourable Speaker, we want to just bring it to the attention that the bill is not before this House, it is before the NCOP, and therefore we are not anticipating an order of this House. Thank you.
That is correct, Honourable Member. Proceed, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Speaker. Unfortunately, Minister Radebe stands firm, refusing to withdraw the bill, with leading ANC women supporting him. In this, to appease the traditional leaders' lobby in the run-up to the ANC Mangaung leadership elections. It will be very disappointing if ANC women MPs are turning a blind eye to the pleas of rural women who rejected this bill in the entirely.
Order, Honourable Member.
The current bill is... The current bill is establishing a separate and unequal legal regime for millions of people in the former Bantu states, effectively reintroducing the second-class citizenship of the apartheid era, entrenching apartheid tribal boundaries, and undermining the constitutional rights of women who will be criminalized if they want to opt out of traditional court procedures. Whereas we believe traditional courts have a role to play in dealing with matters relating to
thank you, Honourable Member. Your time is now expired.
COPE cannot support the current bill.
I think the first point to be made is that traditional courts are not sought to be created by the Traditional Courts Bill. They exist. They've existed for a very long time, and they're recognized by the Constitution of the Republic. The challenge that we have is to ensure the traditional courts, like every other institution in our society, functions in accordance with and adheres to the values contained in our Constitution. And that is exactly what the bill seeks to do. It was introduced in the National Assembly a number of years ago, even before the 2009 election. The bill was processed extensively, public hearings, consultations, and the Portfolio Committee of the National Assembly at the time narrowed down the issues to about 5. After the elections, due to the heavy workload of the Portfolio Committee on Justice in the National Assembly, it was felt that the Select Committee in the NCOP would have more time, and because of the relationship between the NCOP and the provincial legislatures, would have the opportunity of consulting more widely and deeply. And that, honourable member, is what is busy happening. Parliament, the National Assembly and the NCOP together, in terms of the Constitution, are the supreme lawmaking body of the Republic. That is where we make laws. And that is what the NCOP must do. And all of the laws that Parliament makes must be in accordance with the Constitution. So that is what the NCOP and eventually this House also will have to do. And that exactly is what the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development said to the Women's Parliament.
That's where we have to leave it. Our time is up. But do join us again tomorrow when we recap on this afternoon's question time with the President in the National Assembly. We will reflect on some of those questions and answers in our program tomorrow morning. Until then, goodbye.